You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome to Inspiring Leaders. I'm Donna Newman, your host for our show, and thank you for watching our program. Through this show, we meet community leaders and we examine how they're using their unique talents and skill sets to make a difference. And through our discussions, we hope to inspire others to discover and to share their own leadership abilities for the overall betterment of our community. Now today on our show, we'll focus on the exceptional work of Les Passees, a women's volunteer organization that's been loving Memphis for more than 100 years. In this first portion of our show, we'll meet Pam Guinn, the current president of Les Passees, who'll talk with us about this year's long-awaited stock exchange. And in our second segment, Pam and I will be joined by Aliza Moran, the director of the highly respected Les Passees Kids on the Block program. Joining us now is Pam Guinn, president of Les Passees. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you so much, Donna.
I'm so glad that you're with us today, but okay, full disclosure, I'm also a member of Les Passees, though not the president. How long have you been involved with Les Passees, and how did you get involved?
Well, my next door neighbor is Joyce Carter, and she's been a long-time member of Les Passees. So a few years before I retired, Joyce approached me and she said, I think you'd really like this group of ladies. So along about 2014, I became a member, and then I retired fully in 2016. So it was a great opportunity for me to transition from that everyday get up and go to work to a big job. And Les Passees the stock exchange is a really big job.
Oh, it is indeed. And thankfully, you bring an accounting background with you.
I do.
I must say, because you retired from St. Mary's School,
right,
where if I'm, and please don't let me embarrass you, but conspicuously absent is the statement that you were CFO of the Year in 2011, named by Memphis Business Journal, right?
Yes, that's correct. I spent about 14 years at St. Mary's. My daughters both graduated from there. And it was just a great time to be at St. Mary's. A lot of building projects, bonds were issued, so we just really had a really fun time growing the school.
Well, I'm really glad for that, and I'm certain they were glad for you as well. That's a huge honor. And I'll tell you, for stock exchange, that accounting background is a really big deal as well.
It helps.
So first tell me this, before we go into stock exchange completely, tell me the mission of Les Passees itself.
We support children and families in our community, and we, for over 12 years, since 1910, the women of Memphis have come together to support different charities, but always with a focus on children.
Okay, so the who we support may shift, but
Correct.
Always the focus on
Correct.
Children and families
Correct.
in our area.
Yes.
So that's really wonderful. Well, talk to me about stock exchange, because I know that we've all been waiting for it. Tell me about stock exchange.
Well, it is a big, huge volunteer effort, but it's also a pretty big business.
It is.
We look for space somewhere around the city that we can use on a temporary basis, which is not easy to find. Mm-hmm. And especially coming out of the pandemic, many people thought, oh, I can start a business here, I can start a business here. And I don't know if you've noticed it, we have a number of new gyms in town.
We do.
And so we were fortunate this year that the Gaddis family had some space on Summer Avenue, 4998 Summer Avenue, and we were able to secure that in the summer. And starting up stock exchange takes a tremendous amount of setting up the computers, because all of our programs track each item to a particular consignor, record the sales. We do accept credit cards. So it's a pretty sophisticated business operation.
So, okay, let's start kind of toward the beginning. And first of all, thank you, Gaddis family, because their generosity has helped us
Yes.
have a profitable stock exchange.
Correct.
Okay, so talk us through it. It is a consignment shop, right?
Yes, and we like to say it's an upscale consignment pop-up store. Antiques, furniture, silver, china, fine crystal, home decor, kitchenware, and it's just, you know how you walk into a spot and there's a sofa and the lamps and they coordinate and pillows. So it's what we call setting up the vignettes. And that really helps showcase what we have, but it just helps the treasure hunter find what they need.
And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, everything has to be gently used. This is not, we're not taking soiled things.
No, that's
right?
correct. Or broken, and often sometimes that's discovered when it comes to us. But many of our things are gently used. Maybe it's been sitting in the living room for 20 years, but hasn't had much use. And we have lots of rugs, and that's something that does really change the decor of a room.
It does. Okay, so I want to move some things out of my house and get some new ones. Talk me through consignment.
Okay, we started using a Set More program through our website. You sign up for a particular date and time to bring your consigned items, which really helps that long line of, I don't know when I'm going to get done with this.
Yeah.
And so I think our consigners really appreciate knowing when they can come and that they'll get through. For 50 items, we charge $25. And then you can, if you've only brought 5, you can bring 45 more. Or and we usually set up a time for 50 items at one appointed time. And we consign Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 2, usually, not on Sunday, but we're open selling 10 to 5 Tuesday through Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon 1 to 4.
Okay.
And we're open now through October 30th.
Ah, okay. So if I'm shopping now through October 30th, but I can still continue to consign, you're not done with consignment.
No, that's the really fun part, Donna, is that you'll come one day and then you'll come back the next morning and you go, I didn't see that. So yes, we consign all the way through the middle of October.
So what that means to me, if I'm shopping, is that I can look for new treasures constantly. And the other thing it means to me is, if I see it, I better buy it now.
Right. Until you buy it, someone else can come and buy it. So fortunately, our equipment is able to handle a screenshot from a phone. So if you see something and you saw somebody else looking at it, you can come up to the register, pay for it, and then we'll put a sold tag on it.
Ah, and so now it's mine, thank goodness,
yes,
right?
That's right. That's
You
right.
know, all this has changed so much since
I know, that's what I hear.
I'm a long time member, and we actually did it by hand at one point. It was really, so this is very advanced, and it's very much like running a nice sized store.
It is. It's fairly sophisticated. And the nice thing, the thing that we learned through the pandemic, through going through COVID, is we added Shopify. So now we are putting some of our items through this web-based platform. And not too many people buy on Shopify. You can, but you can still, it brings people into the store. So we're using it to showcase some of the lovely things we have.
Well, you know, I actually like Shopify because I'm an internet shopper, but I can see that it would entice people who are looking at it and saying, oh, that's pretty cool, right?
Well, the year we did it totally on Shopify, I'll never forget looking for a vase that we thought was this big, and then when we found it, it was, so it's the scale and it's the texture, it's the feel that just makes the treasure hunting so much more fun in person.
Yeah, and it is treasure hunting too. It's an awful lot of fun. It really is. The other thing is that every night people come in and they move things around, right?
Yes, because we've gotten things in throughout the day. We don't really have a lot of storage space at this location, so we're moving it to the floor almost immediately and just putting those things in place and in the right place, and then putting the lamps back in and mirrors and hanging pictures. Fortunately, we have a lot of space to hang pictures on the wall, and there's a lot of people hanging pictures.
On the wall. There's also a Christmas shop, if I'm not mistaken.
That's one of the most really
There's
beloved.
a children's shop there where you can buy lots of children's things
No,
there.
we don't really have children's. We don't have space.
Furniture.
Furniture.
You have children's furniture and little knicky-knack kind
But
of
the Christmas
things.
shop is really popular.
I
we
like
have
it a
somebody
lot.
who, that's her passion, and she just gets the lights up, she gets the trees. We don't have many trees, but a few. And then just those special items that people are ready to replace with something else.
Now, Stock Exchange is the biggest fundraiser, but
Correct.
more money is raised throughout the year through other methods as well.
We try to focus our efforts on Stock Exchange, and some of the logo items we use more to promote Les Passees. So we really try to focus our energy and volunteer work on Stock Exchange.
And make the money there, and then you give the money to a number of organizations,
We
but
are.
the biggest beneficiary is, of course, Les Passees Kids on the Block,
right.
who are going to visit with us in a few minutes. So, of your time there, and you're president now, do you see it shifting any? Do you see it, this organization continues to grow? Is that true?
Yes, one of the focuses that we've had in the last few years is getting new members in. I actually had somebody ask me the other day, well, y'all are part of Junior League, aren't you? And I said, no, we are not. There's probably a number of our members who've been in both organizations.
Right.
But we have members from all age groups, and it just happened to fit with my schedule to do it closer to retirement. But we've got several new members that are asking their friends and their younger members, and so we're just really excited about having that diversity in our group.
I think so too. It's really added a lot to the whole thing. So your term goes from what time to what time?
April 1 through March 31st.
Okay.
And in the springtime, we do a party called Cabaret, which is another long-time tradition, and we have a group of young ladies known as the Living Ads who represent our sponsors at this party, and there's a big auction. So yes, that is another fundraiser that we have. And oftentimes it's some baskets from Stock Exchange that are large, and we put them back and fill them with goodies for the auction. So one does lead to the other.
So this Stock Exchange and Les Passees is good for the community at large.
Oh, absolutely. I just feel like every time I go and do my 2-hour shift or do my time there, that I've just really given to something worthwhile.
As a consigner, I can clean out my closets.
Oh my goodness.
I can buy new things and go to the treasure hunt.
And so many people don't really realize they love hanging on to things and collections and all that, but when you do decide to clean out, it's not only an opportunity for you to get new things, it's to feel lighter and preparing maybe for the next step. But we do have a lot of emotional stories. The consigners come in, and truly we weren't going to consign right after a preview party, which was last week. It's an opportunity for people to come in and get a preview look. But on Friday afternoon, this family came in. They were in because their mother passed away, and so they were from out of town. And so they were pointed to Les Passees, and we opened up the back and we said, yes, we're happy to help you with this.
Well, it's amazing what the organization does for the consigner, what they do, what we do
Yes.
for the community
Yes.
at large. And so thank you, and thank you for serving as president this year. I'm going to bring on our Kids on the Block gal. Is that
Wonderful.
good?
Wonderful.
Okay, stay with me, will you?
Okay.
All right. And we're going to pause now for a short break. When we return, Les Passees President Pam Guinn and I will be joined by Aliza Moran, Director of Les Passees Kids on the Block program.
Camera one, switch audio, cue talent.
So GHS-TV was started in 1982 by Frank Bluestein, the department's founder.
It's a multi-million-dollar television studio, and students who are a part of it have the opportunity to do real-world work.
Welcome to GHS Insider, the show
What makes this program unique is the students here. We come with a lot of potential and a lot of talent, and we also come with the mindset of we have to do this, we can do this.
In this class, we really have the ability to be as creative as we want to be.
On the show today, we take you to the side. When you see yourself on a screen, it's a feeling where it's like, I actually contributed to something, I actually did something that matters to people.
We have fun days, like when we do shows and we do a really good show, it's that adrenaline of like, oh wow, we just did a really good show, we did it.
Hey everyone,
I'm Brooklyn White.
And there's a real sense of pride that comes from completing a show that you have written, produced, thought of on your own. And that sense of pride is really important, and it keeps us motivated because we want to do more. We want to experience that feeling again.
We're always pushing the kids. We're always challenging them, and they rise to the challenge.
So the program has absolutely changed a lot for me. It has given me a view into the arts and has let me see that I really do enjoy working behind a camera as well as in front of the camera.
The future of our program really, a lot of times, is up to the students. It's their willingness to see beyond what is here and what it can be. Year to year, it changes with the students, but the ability of the students never changes.
Go Red Devils!
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Donna Newman, and you're watching Inspiring Leaders. We're pleased to continue talking now with Les Passees President Pam Guinn and to be joined by Director of Les Passees Kids on the Block program, Aliza Moran. Thanks for staying, Pam, and welcome, Aliza.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you both with me today. This Kids on the Block program is really very special to all of us. Okay, before we get started, you clearly have brought friends. Please introduce us to your friends.
Sure. So this is Mark. He's one of our puppets. We have a variety of different puppets with varying abilities and disabilities and ethnicities. And then this is Grandpa. He's just one of our grown-up puppets, kind of the parental figure, if you will, sometimes in our shows.
Well, I look pretty frightened. I didn't even do anything wrong, but he does look kind of a little bit scary, doesn't he?
He has a nice little suit.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, we're going to talk about what you do with them as we go along, but before we go anywhere else, tell me about you, how you got involved with this program, what's your background that qualified you so uniquely to do this program?
Sure. I got hired on in about November 2020. I believe that's actually was when my first day was. It's been a lot of fun. In regards to my background, I have a theater background and theater education background. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I moved here when I was about 12 years old. So I've been in Memphis since I was 12. And went to the University of Memphis, and I have a bachelor's in theater performance from the U of M. And then I have a master's in educational theater from NYU.
And so you also had experience with a local theater here doing some booking and directing, and what else?
Yeah, so I worked at Theater Memphis for 9+ years. I was originally started as a show wagon performer, which was a group of actors that performs children's literature and folk tales. And then I took on doing the bookings for us, as well as Christmas Carol there. And then I started doing curriculum work and residency work with Director of Education.
And see, all the things that you're talking about are exactly what were needed for our Director of Kids on the Block. And so the history of Kids on the Block is that we had a longtime director who was a member of the club who passed away. Mm-hmm. And so we went on quite the search to find you. And you are a unique fit, and we're glad to have you. So talk to me about Kids on the Block and who they are and what they do. What's their mission?
Yeah, so Kids on the Block started in the late 70s in response to when children of varying abilities and disabilities move into the mainstream classroom. Uh-huh. And it was a way to connect kids who would not necessarily experience children with handicaps and et cetera, and help them realize, oh, we have much more similarities than we do differences.
That is true.
Yeah. And then in the 80s is when Les Passees got their own troupe. And we've been going ever since. We do free shows for the public. And it's more of a focus towards issues that youth deal with. So shows that we have going on right now, we have one about grief, anxiety, depression, gun safety, bullying, cyberbullying, problem solving, and we also do things for little kids, so hand washing, self-acceptance, and good manners.
And healthy eating.
Oh yeah, and healthy eating.
And healthy eating and fitness, yes.
Yeah, physical fitness and nutrition, yeah.
Well, okay, so these shows, when you take them in, start at the beginning. Who do you go visit, and how do they get in touch with you?
Sure. So pretty much if you deal with youth, if you're a nonprofit or educational institution, we're here for you. We go to libraries, schools, daycares, pre-K, and pretty much anywhere there's a kiddo, we will be. Our puppeteers actually book us. Our primary and lead puppeteer, her name is Susan Irwin. Her information is actually on our website, and you can find us at Les Passees. There's a little Kids on the Block tab you can click on, and it has right where you can just email us and ask us, you know, bring us on in, you know, and then based on the needs of your students, your youth, we can cater our shows to that. And we do about 2 shows. They're about 45 minutes, and they include audience interaction.
45 minutes for the whole thing, or 45 minutes each?
45 minutes for the whole thing.
Good, because kids' attention span is...
Yeah. And our shows are short for like pretty much 5th grade and below. I am going to be working on a residency with doing middle and high school puppetry and script writing at some point.
You know, I've got to tell you, the first time I heard about the puppet shows, and you may have felt this too, Pam, I said, puppets? And I don't think so, ho-hum, you know? I mean,
everybody loves puppets. What?
Oh, actually, I didn't think I would. And I was completely enthralled with how the audience engaged. Talk about some of your kids and how they engage with the puppets.
Yeah, it is. So obviously we have puppeteers. These lovely people do not move on their own. They wear all black and they act as their shadows. And most of the time during performance, they hide behind the puppeteer. But even after the show, when the kids are able to interact with them, because we do have them come and take pictures or touch them, it's never the puppeteer over here, it's always the puppet. It's like they're their friend. I think of watching Jim Henson shows and the Muppets and stuff growing up as well, or seeing puppets out and about when I was a kid, and it was just like, you're just their friend. You're not someone who's actually handling them.
Thank you, Grandpa. You know, I guess I can see little kids getting involved in this, and I can almost see all through up into middle school, maybe through 5th grade.
About 5th grade, where we kind of lose them.
I would think.
That's why I kind of want to start doing a residency where they build their own, and where it's more of it's hands-on creating versus I'm just sitting and watching a show. And then they create their own scripts to go along with the puppets.
I see. So it's a different kind of sort of involvement that you're going to do with middle school and high school. Okay, that makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine high schoolers being enthralled in any fashion.
Well, you never know.
Well, you could, you could very well be right, though, because I mean, I'm pretty much an adult, and I was certainly enthralled. I mean, seriously, they really get into a big deal with you. You know, you don't dream up these topics, right?
No.
There have been some partnerships put together. Who all were they put together with, Pam? Do you know?
Well, Baptist is one.
Yes.
And then we have partnered with the Dixon. We actually did their virtual shows, or not shows, craft things they did with their kids over the COVID.
The new education center.
Yeah, and we're actually going to do a couple little films with them about exploring the gardens and how do you view art. We also recently are partnered with International Paper.
And what's that one on?
So that one focuses on cyberbullying and our gun safety script. And we will tour those live, as well as we're going to be videoing them. So we'll have short films, and the Baptist ones are also short films.
And that's a new endeavor. And that's something that's come out of COVID is, if we had scripts that we could put online, then we would reach even more kids.
Yeah,
that is absolutely true. Talk about, with Baptist, what have they asked for? Because didn't they ask for some special stuff this year?
Yeah, we had a conversation in the late spring of last year, and the social emotional effects of COVID on kiddos was really was probably more of the focus of our conversation. And I work with schools in Tupelo, Mississippi, and that is a big issue that those educators are dealing with, or kids coming back after COVID, and they're having all the feels and don't know what's going on, you know.
I don't think that's limited to.
Oh, it's not.
Young kids either. I think that's all of us. Even driving in the city, everything's different now.
Yes.
So.
But we focus on grief, anxiety, depression, self-acceptance, which is a lovely song my friend Joe Johnson wrote for us, and then physical fitness and nutrition. And they all have more formal titles, but those are the topics.
Oh, I think that's terrific. So as a principal, if I were calling you from a school, then I would be able to peruse your topics and then say, could we do this and could we do that? Don't you have leave behind materials as well?
We are creating resources for folks, absolutely. Eventually we'll have those online so people can just click and take with if they like. And then our brochure, you can always ask for it, but it is also on our website as well for our touring options this year.
All right, so before we go one second further, let's talk about that website. It's lpmemphis.org.
Correct.
And on it, it has all the information.
It has our history, our mission, our brochure, and how you can book us.
Okay, it has all of that and who to call and all the rest of it.
Yep.
It also has everything about Stock Exchange.
It does.
So talk to me again about the dates, the address, et cetera, of Stock Exchange, which funds everything, okay?
Correct. The link is right on the face of the lpmemphis.org, Stock Exchange, and we're going to be at 4998 Summer Avenue until October 30th. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Sundays 1 to 4.
Now, if I don't know addresses on Summer, that was the old Gaddis.
It is, Fred P. Gaddis Jewelry Company. And so it's between Mendenhall and White Station, and it's on the north side of the street.
So it is a place that I could go to often.
Yes.
And come shop, right?
Oh, and you'll see new treasures every time.
Yes, I will. And the address is what?
4998 Summer Avenue. We're right next door to the Knowledge Tree store.
Got it. Thank you so much. So I need to come shop at Stock Exchange.
Please.
And I need to be completely aware of Kids on the Block for all of my young ones, etc. So
absolutely. And I will mention we do have a reusable tote that is being sold. It's $5 at Stock Exchange, and $3 of that goes directly to us.
That's perfect. And by the way, let me say again, your shows are completely free.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So that's another reason to shop at Stock Exchange. Ladies, thank you so much for the excellent work you do at Les Passees.
Thank you.
At the Stock Exchange as well as Kids on the Block. I'm so glad and happy to work with both of you, and I'm happy to present you to our community. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Donna.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Grandpa. Thank you for being with us today for Inspiring Leaders. We appreciate our guests on today's show, Pam Guinn and Aliza Moran, both with Les Passees. Please remember to support both Les Passees programs talked about today, Stock Exchange and Kids on the Block. And let's help Les Passees continue their extraordinary work for our community. Now, if you'd like further information on look on the Les Passees website, which is lpmemphis.org. And yes, you can find all the information to book the Kids on the Block for your school or organization. And you can also find all the details on the Les Passees Stock Exchange, including the address, dates, and hours of operation. Again, that's lpmemphis.org. Now, if you're interested in the air dates of Inspiring Leaders or any other of the shows on our station, please visit GHS-TV.org, where we're streaming live 24 hours a day. You can keep up with GHS-TV by visiting our website. We hope you'll like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you again for joining us, and be sure to watch our show, Inspiring Leaders, again next month.